With an I don't know how we're going to top that, Courtney. We'll find a way. Mississippi State fighting for a top 16 seed. Arkansas maybe a top 4 seed nationally next round of the NCAA tournament. But they start their journeys in the second round of the SEC tournament. It is the 2026 SEC softball tournament on the SEC Network presented by T-Mobile. We know one quarterfinalist from today. 14th seeded Auburn Tigers, the lowest seed ever to make it to the quarterfinals. 5 home runs. Ava Ratliff, the game winner in the 7th inning. Auburn outslugs A&M 11-8. The highest scoring game in SEC tournament history. Sets up a 3-14 matchup with Florida and Auburn. And as you heard Courtney say, Alabama awaits the winner today. Back with you from John Kropp Stadium in Lexington. Kevin Brown and Amanda Scarborough. It was indeed a wild start. It probably won't be 11-8. These are some great pitching staffs today, Auburn and Mississippi State. And don't be fooled by the 7 seed for Auburn. 7 seed here, but one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, well, when Arkansas coaching staff crunched the numbers for their SEC schedule, it turned out they have the number 2 within SEC play strength of schedule, and they've just played a tough schedule all around, which with the way that they've played and the strength of schedule that they've played, it is right now putting them in a position for RPI number 1. Yet they are the 7 seed here. They have played a very challenging schedule, and year in and year out under Courtney Deifel as of late, they continue to grab a top 8 national seed, which they are in the position to do again this year.
Arkansas with a tremendous resume under Courtney Deifel, made it to the Super Regionals again last year, looking to go further this postseason. They've got a 1-2 pitching staff they can really rely on. The sophomore Peyton Burnham will get the ball to start their SEC tournament run.
And she pitched very well against Mississippi State in the regular season. That's why she is going to get the ball today, because they only got 1 hit off of her. Always have a choice between Peyton Burnham and Robin Herron, and it is Burnham because of her regular season stats.
The best at-bats yesterday for Mississippi State in their 4-3-1 came out of the 9-hole. Kinley Keller stays there with a double and a walk. It's the same starting 9 for Sam Ricketts. So Mississippi State, the 10 seed, Arkansas, the 7, and we are underway. Game 2, day 2 here at the SEC softball tournament. Burnham, a first pitch strike, sophomore to sophomore against Morgan Stiles, who fouls the next one off. Mississippi State was held to just 5 hits yesterday. 4 runs, only 1 earned, but Stiles hit a 2-run single and a 3-run comeback in the 7th inning. And the Bulldogs were aided by 3 Kentucky errors, including one by first baseman Abby Hammond that ended the game. 2-strike pitch to Stiles. He starts to swing and holds up. Cam Ellison, the plate umpire for game 2 today. That was Steve Gould with the no swing call at first, and Marty Abzetian at third. Stiles slashes another one foul. And it's caught by Alyssa Faircloth, the starting pitcher out in the bullpen. Nice to get some action before you throw a pitch. Bulldogs have struggled offensively in the league this year. And Stiles hits a 1-hopper to short. Natalia Rijo, one of the best shortstops in softball, picks it.
Peyton Burnham will throw in the mid to upper 60s. She has a very confident off-speed pitch that she'll work in at 58 to 60, and she'll move the ball both up and down the zone. The rise ball is the pitch that she throws a little bit more than her drop ball, but a lot of confidence in that drop ball, which rolls Arkansas a lot of ground ball double plays.
Woo. Powers one in at 69 miles per hour. Strike to Nadia Barbary. An all-SEC pick a year ago. Barbary takes down and in. What does Peyton Burnham need to do against these bats? What does Mississippi State need to do, conversely, against Peyton Burnham?
For Burnham, just continuing to change speeds really well. And you'll notice that she just doesn't give in. She's able to work both sides of the plate very well, where Mississippi State or any opponent really can't just go up and sit on one half, because she'll work both sides. So for Mississippi State, pick a side of the plate like Nadia Barbary, clearly seeing that inside pitch at a hitter's count and just getting her best swing off on it, fouling it off. But it's a lot for Peyton Burnham. I mean, she's had really good games this year. One in particular against Oklahoma on the road in Norman. Fantastic. The second half of the year for Burnham has been exceptional.
A fly ball to center from Barbary. Reagan Johnson retreating makes the catch. Two solid defensive plays by Arkansas team that is one of the best in the country in the field. Peyton Burnham, a sophomore from Eugene, Oregon. Shut out Missouri a couple of weeks ago, a 4-hit, 2-walk game, a great April and May, a 1.21 ERA over the last month plus. And that includes the great performances against Mississippi State, 7 2/3, 1 hit, 1 walk in the 2 games. Mississippi State and the 2 regular season games they faced her went 1 for 22. Much different lineup she's facing today. Zion Romero all the way up to the 3 spot.
Yeah, and those numbers early on, Courtney Deifel attributes to how she felt at the beginning of the year. She was battling an illness. Burnham was that she just couldn't get over, lost some strength. But finally is back to who she is, and she wants the ball, she wants the moment. Arkansas has this luxury of having a really deep pitching staff when you have a choice between Peyton Burnham and Robin Herron, and as well as Sailor Timmerman, the freshman, how well she's been throwing as of late too.
3 pitchers who've thrown 65 innings or more. Arkansas 11th in the country in ERA, 11th in the country in runs scored per game, and 7th in fielding percentage. One of the most balanced teams in softball as Romero grounds the ball to Rio, makes a nice pick, throws a dart to first. 3 good plays in the field, and we'll see the Razorback bats when we return.
The 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by T-Mobile, America's best network.
Back to John Kropp Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. The Arkansas Razorbacks 41-10. Going to face Alyssa Faircloth, getting the start for Mississippi State. The 10 and the 7 seeds meeting in the second round. Winner to face Alabama tomorrow afternoon. Here's Reagan Johnson. Razorback leadoff hitter yet again. The all-time Arkansas leader in hits, kicks off a 9-batter lineup, including Dakota Kennedy, a 2-time All-American who was just picked a couple of days ago as one of the 17 draftees in the AUSL. Johnson pops the ball up on the left side of the infield, and the shortstop Stiles is over there for a quick out for Alyssa Faircloth.
And 5 lefties in the Arkansas lineup going up against the lefty Alyssa Faircloth. That is a tough matchup for them. Their big pickup in the transfer portal to round out this Mississippi State pitching staff that is one of the deepest and best pitching staffs in the nation.
Faircloth throws a strike to another one of those lefties, Brinley Bain. Freshman from Eagleville, Tennessee, has had a wonderful first college year. Bain is the first Division I freshman with 40 or more walks and 20 or fewer strikeouts in the same regular season since Bailey Hemphill did it 9 years ago for Alabama. Leads all Division I freshmen with a .520 on base percentage. And she nearly strikes out here.
I mean, it's always, something that stands out about a player when they have a good eye like that and this many walks, but to do it as a freshman is like next level. There's a changeup there and takes it after taking a rise ball up in the zone. It's what she's going to have to deal with Alyssa Faircloth. Really good movement, very good change of speeds.
Arkansas was pretty successful against Faircloth in their regular season series as Bain grounds the ball over to second, and Romero throws her out.
And Alyssa Faircloth talked about that changeup. She wants you to chase it down in the zone with her. You're going to be way out in front because of the way that she has so much deception with that pitch, but she can move the ball up in the zone with her curveball most often and then go up a little bit with her rise ball too. So changeup, curveball, rise ball. Her changeup is actually her most used pitch. And when we're talking about changeup, I mean, she has one of the best changeups in the SEC. Her whiff rate, her swing and miss rate on her changeup is at about 60%, which is just an unheard of whiff rate.
That ball line right to third and Barbary. Ella McDowell with a hot shot to her counterpart. A 1-2-3 first.
Welcome back to Lexington, where Mississippi State survived day one thanks to a walk-off hit from Taylor Troutman, who told me after the game, we're just so excited to come back and play another one. She said, we've already beaten Arkansas once. Why not do it again? When it comes to that series back in mid-April, the Hogs returned the favor. They took the series, game 2 and 3 of that one. I spoke to Sam Ricketts before this game started. She said Arkansas is one of the most complete teams in the league. It is on us to set the tone early. Yesterday, after the win, Morgan Stiles said, we as a team know that we're never out of the fight as long as we're swinging aggressive.
Yeah, they were down 3-1 in that 7th inning, Alyssa. They were aggressive. They brought in 3 runs. And Taylor Troutman, the player who told you that, is at the plate right here. It was a 1-0 win for Mississippi State in the Friday game. And then the next 2 games really weren't close. 8-0, a run rule in 5, and 10-3. Great thing about this tournament, though, no best of 3. You can win 1-0, and that'll be that. Freshman Troutman grounds the ball over to third base. Ella McDowell. Arkansas is so clean defensively. We've seen that on the first 4 plays today.
And they've been, consistently putting out a defense that's tops in the nation. I mean, it just always like really good, right? But this year, it just seems like they're finding themselves top 5, top 10 in the country in fielding percentage. It's just taken us another step forward. A lot of experience that you have, especially on the infield with seniors that are all around Peyton Burnham, and then you have Ella McDowell over at third base. She's a sophomore, but she started all of last year.
The only team in the SEC to start the same 4 infielders every game. Ella McDowell, Italia Rijo, Carly Davison, and Tiana Bell have started all 52 games in their respective positions. And then up the middle, Reagan Johnson has started all 52 games at center. And if not for a leg injury a couple of weeks ago, Dakota Kennedy would be right out there in left field again. 1-1, swung through by Paige Ernstis, and it's 1-2.
And Dakota Kennedy, a Gold Glover, if she were playing in the outfield. So unfortunate with that injury. We were happy to see her in the lineup last weekend against Texas batting.
Ernstis strokes the ball to short. A little bobble by Rio, and a rare defensive mistake on a tough play. And that's an error against Italia Rijo. Just as we're talking about the great Arkansas defense, they make just their 25th of the year.
I think Rio, as the pitch was coming, was kind of taking a step up the middle of the field and anticipating something off the bat there. Ended up taking her to the hole.
It's the 8th error by Italia Rijo, a nominal shortstop. And Mississippi State, which took advantage of 3 errors yesterday, will try to do so with Kiara Sells here. And Sells will not do it. Pops out to Kennedy Miller for out number 2.
You know, Peyton Burnham is not going to have the flashy strikeout numbers like her counterpart in this game, Alyssa Fairclough, who has over 200 strikeouts this season. But Burnham just does such a good job of moving the ball around and every day consistently throwing strikes and changing speeds. I mean, when she's in the circle, she's going to roll you a lot of ground balls to this great defense behind her and a lot of easy pop-ups that her infield can usually just get under and get to.
There's Rivera, another ground ball. Playing with pace here. 6 outs, all in the field of play for Burnham. Her middle of the order hitters coming up. Oh, it's well done around these parts, the Courtney Deifel effect. Arkansas, one of the worst programs in the SEC until she got there, has become one of the best. First after first after first at Arkansas, winning an SEC tournament, regular season titles, hosting regionals and super regionals. A program that's such a model of consistency, man. They've hosted the postseason 5 years in a row. There is, of course, one missing piece, the Razorback in the room, if you will, that Arkansas has still never made it to the World Series. Last year was maybe the most painful. They faced an unseeded Ole Miss team. Arkansas, the regular season was so much better than Ole Miss. They did not play well. They also had a couple of pitchers who had fallen ill during the week. Their staff was not at full strength. They lose in 3 games in the best of 3 at home to Ole Miss. Something that could really haunt a program. But Arkansas, with a lot of returning faces and a couple of key additions, has been so consistent all year long. Yes, they're a 7 seed, but they went 6-2 in SEC series, and they did so against a schedule that featured all top 4 seeds in the league. Tiana Bell, one of those new faces, with a deep drive to center, and Bell off the pole will ring in the game's first run. Flagpole power for Tiana Bell in her first at-bat of the SEC tournament, and it's 1-0 Arkansas.
Tiana Bell has been so clutch, and so is Dakota Kennedy, who's about to hit here. 2 transfers into this program who just offensively, one lefty, one righty, who have so much power, experience, and been able to step up in the big moments for Arkansas. Tiana Bell has such fast bat speed and explosive power.
Normally you see a ball go off the pole, it's right down the line. That one was split right down the middle of the field. And Bell, the transfer from Cal, has her team-leading 15th home run. She had been tied with this batter, Kennedy, coming into the game.
It seems like even she's gotten better since Dakota Kennedy's injury that happened in game 1 of the Oklahoma series when they were playing in Norman. I mean, that was a devastating blow for them at the time, because when she went down in game 1 of that series, you're playing #1 Oklahoma at Loves Field, and this is, I think, a top 6, top 5 matchup at the time. And she went down, and Arkansas could have easily gotten down after that injury. It happened when she was running down first base. She hit a ground ball to the first baseman. They went to tag her. She tried to get around the tag and ended up stepping wrong, and now she's wearing that brace on her right knee.
She's looking down at her leg after that swing.
Yeah, so this is what happened when she pulled a ball to first base on April 17th, right here. And you just kind of knew it when she went down. The Loves Field was just quiet. And at that time, I mean, I think the scary part was you didn't know if she was going to come back. You know, when you see a player go down like that, really even unable to walk off the field, and it's a lower body injury like that, you just don't know if they're going to come back. So she came back in the Texas series in Austin, has played 3 games, and unfortunately struck out 5 times in Austin against Texas.
0 for 8, hit by a pitch. And she's on with a walk here. So Kennedy gets down to first after the home run by Bell.
But I think she's still going to provide this presence, whether it's just a presence behind Tiana Bell, giving her protection, or just having quality at bats. Maybe she doesn't end up hitting for as much power as she did earlier in the season. Maybe she does. We don't know. But either way, the presence of Dakota Kennedy is so big behind Tiana Bell in the middle of this Arkansas order.
Carly Davison behind her has had a wonderful year. Davison, one of 6 senior starters along with Kennedy and Bell. 364 average, 458 on base, 636 slugging percentage. She's 3rd on the team in average. She's 3rd in on base. And she's 3rd in slugging as well, with an OPS of nearly 1100. Davidson holds up against Alyssa Faircloth's changeup 1 and 2. If you're looking for a reason why maybe this is the year for Arkansas to break through, get to the World Series, tall task it is. Their balance is pretty special. Davison down swinging there. A good changeup by Faircloth for her first K.
First swing and miss that we've seen on Faircloth's changeup in this game. Great location, right at the knees. It's nasty the way that it comes out of her hand. It is so difficult to pick up that pitch.
which that, as you noted earlier, has around a 60% whiff rate. That means batters who swing don't even make contact with that pitch 60% of the time. And the 40% of the time they do make contact with it, it's often very poor contact. Faircloth did not have a great relief outing yesterday. Her offense picked her up. 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 earned, a walk, struck out 2. Gave up a tie-breaking homer to Carissa Hamilton of Kentucky in the 6th. Only threw 46 pitches, so in good shape to get the start today. Doing one for Italia Rio. Huge jump offensively this year. Arkansas has 7 different players with an OPS of 1,000 or better and 30 RBIs. Just a magnificently balanced lineup. Rio floats one into shallow center for out number 2.
Well, to your point, talking about Arkansas's lineup, Courtney Deifel, you know, when discussing it and how they score runs, they just have a variety of different ways that they score runs. Talking about how this year, the way that they've gone about things is completely different. Last year, they were so reliant on the long ball with Bree Ellis, National Player of the Year, who graduated, and Courtney Day, who had over half of their home runs that they graduated. This year, they're really good situationally, really good with runners on. One of the best teams with runners in scoring position in terms of batting average. It's not reliant or centered around one player. It's a collective offensive effort for them this year.
Strike one to Kaylee Wyckoff in the number 8 spot. I mean, look at these numbers for an 8-hitter. This is the kind of balance that you see the great Oklahoma teams have the last few years, Texas last season, and Arkansas right there with 1,006 OPS in the 8 spot. They do so well to develop hitters at Arkansas. Not only the hitters that transfer in like Wyckoff, but the hitters that come into their program and stay in their program. Wyckoff, a couple of years at Texas Tech, a couple of years here.
She slid over to left field with Dakota Kennedy's injury. She was playing right field the majority of the year, and so they had to shuffle around their outfield with Kennedy's leg injury.
Popped out of play by Wyckoff, still 2-2. Guy tried to catch it with his hat, and it did not work. I don't know if you'd say A for effort, but it didn't hit him at least. Faircloth's 6th pitch. Wyckoff fouls it away.
Courtney Deifel also talked about Wyckoff and just how she has, in her words, grinded with DJ Gasso, the hitting coach for Arkansas. Been able to work really hard to give herself access to more different pitches and the confidence to hunt more pitches. Of course, here just trying to battle with 2 strikes, but confidence to hit a variety of different pitches and extend her AB.
Sprays this ball into right. It's tracked down by Romero. A leadoff home run for Tiana Bell. And Arkansas opens the scoring in this 2nd round game.
The ball is flying out of the ballpark today. Tiana Bell, so explosive. Big time pickup for Arkansas this year, getting to compete with Arkansas in her 1st postseason with them.
Welcome back to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. There's our bracket for the second round. Tennessee and Ole Miss, LSU and Georgia coming up later today. The quarterfinals tomorrow. One is set, Florida and Auburn. The winner of this game gets Alabama. Texas and Oklahoma will play the night session tomorrow evening. Oklahoma, the defending co-champ, as last year Oklahoma and Texas A&M made the SEC title game, and the game was rained out. Hopefully we have a solo champion this year. But 6 different winners because of the co-championship in the last 5 years, including Arkansas, who won it 4 years ago, defeating Ole Miss 3-0, Florida 4-1, and Missouri 4-0, en route to their first SEC tournament championship. Last repeat winner, the Gators, in 18 and 19. Morgan Bernardini 1-2 against Peyton Burnham here, the number 8 hitter for Mississippi State. And Bernardini rips one foul. Look at that list of recent champions. So much balance in the league. Oklahoma and Texas have come in and continued to play well. Oh, look at this. We're in Williamsport range here. Down the third base line, a diving McDowell from her knees. Couldn't get the out at first as Bell was pulled off the bag. According to first base umpire Steve Gould, Courtney Dyfill immediately asks for a review.
The ruling on the field was the runner was safe at first base. Arkansas is challenging the previous play is under further review.
She kept it on there. Thought it was off, and then it got back on. Let's see. Oh, she didn't. I think she was just a little, she was a cleat late in getting her foot back. So it's off, 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 off. Oh, and does she tag her? I'm looking down at her feet. Does she tag her?
Watch the runner Bernardini's arm here from the ump cam.
Yeah. Maybe the umpire was like me, just looking down at her foot coming off of the bag instead of this tag right here touching her arm. Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, thank you to our director, Mike Griffin. I'm like so locked into if the cleat was on the base or not.
And Steve Gould's probably doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Looking at the bag as an umpire would do on a close play like that. Arkansas uses its first of 2 coaches' challenges, and they will retain this challenge, assuming it's overturned.
It's a great defensive play by the home run hitter there to help out her third baseman, who made a great backhand down the line. I mean, that entire defensive play was not easy.
While the foot was pulled, there was a tag on the runner. The call is changed. The runner's out at first base. Arkansas retains their challenge.
Love the specificity there from Marty Ebzis, telling us we saw what we thought we saw. Foot was pulled, tag was applied. Great play, too, by Ella McDowell.
And the backhand, you know, down the line. Look at her just rob this hit. And I think a lot of Arkansas's defensive success comes in the form of they're in the right position pre-pitch. So Matt Michael is one of their assistant coaches, and he positions them looking at the spray charts and the data. He is just a numbers connoisseur. I mean, he's just so good at it, highly respected in our game.
Kenley Keller floats one out to shallow right center. And it was an early call from Davison, who makes the catch, so 2 quick outs for Peyton Burnham.
But sometimes, you know, Kevin, you'll see a third baseman basically play in the 5-6 hole with the shift. Ella McDowell was playing a little bit closer to the line. They're always looking to see where they need to be positioned at their armbands and with Matt Michael in the dugout, and it really helps them with their fielding percentage.
Peyton Burnham, not a big strikeout pitcher, but is helped by her defense. I'm sure she's more confident pitching to contact. You would if you're an Arkansas pitcher, given the strength of this defense. That ball to short out, picked cleanly by Davison. They are just so good all over the field, and Burnham's got a no-hitter through 3.
Welcome back to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Here with Mississippi State head coach Sam Ricketts. Coach, you told me pregame that you wanted to see your team create their own momentum. How have you seen that so far?
Yeah, I think we've been really loose in the dugout, just bringing a lot of energy, making sure that we're coming out, attacking. I think we're doing a good job getting a couple good hard hits off and just need to find some holes here.
Defensively, what do you like from what you've seen from your group so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know Arkansas is going to find ways to score. We just have to make sure we're getting ahead, and Alyssa's doing a great job. Came right back and got us out of that inning, and knowing that we're going to be able to make some plays behind her. So we just got to kind of continue to fight and find a way to scratch a couple runs across here.
What would your team have to do to get you to ride that unicorn back into the dugout?
A lot. That's not happening.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we appreciate the honesty from Sam Ricketts. Now I want to take Pink Pony, the stuffed unicorn hobby horse, for a ride. That was from a class talent show in the fall, a prop used by the junior class. And she, I don't know what the unicorn is, it has stuck around for back-to-back interviews here at the SEC tournament. And every time we look down before the cameras are rolling, Sam's just trying to knock Pink Pony out of the frame with no success. You've been around Sam Ricketts for a while now, man. It's her 7th year at Mississippi State. What makes her such a successful coach?
I think it's that she's always trying to get better. When we have talked to her the past several years and seen this Mississippi State program be on the rise and hunting for a top 16 national seed, it is because at the end of every year, her and her coaching staff just come together and look at everything and aren't afraid to try new things the following year, really take a deep look at how they recruit. Even at the point of Mississippi State has always been known for their hitting. But this year, their defense has been really good. One of the top defenses in the country and one of the top defenses in the SEC. We're not used to seeing that from Mississippi State. So what they did was change the way that they recruited to athleticism. Almost every player in the infield was a shortstop at a period of time before they got to Mississippi State.
Kennedy Miller, slow roller, gets past the pitcher, and Miller is out. Cleaned up by Barbary. There is that good defense on display.
Mississippi State was definitely not known for their defense several years ago. So seeing just how this program has been able to work with Zach Shaw, the defensive coach for Mississippi State, he's done a great job with the infield and getting them to level up behind this great pitching staff. I mean, who would have thought Mississippi State would be a pitching and defense program like they are this year?
Taryn Mullet-McKinney, the wonderful pitching coach the last 3 years. And I mean, this is stunning. 235th to 163 to 47th to 3rd. Their fielding percentage ranks in the country. That is an amazing turn and show of strength by Mississippi State. They were as bad as it gets in fielding in the SEC 3 years ago, and now they're at a 984 mark in the field.
Well, and I think, too, everything works together on defense. So they've gotten a pitching staff that's gotten a lot of strikeouts. That's going to help your fielding percentage, take some pressure off of your defense. And not only are they getting more strikeouts, but they're getting weaker contact that makes the plays on defense a little bit easier to make, right? Not as high of exit velocity because their pitchers spin it so well.
Yeah, this is going to help your fielding percentage typically. Johnson with 2 pop-outs.
So everything works together, but I think by not making as many errors toward the end of the season, your defense is feeling even more confident, not just going to make the routine plays, but going to make the great plays too.
Sam Ricketts said this is one of the most enjoyable groups I've ever had, and they have held themselves to such a high standard, holding each other accountable more than any team she's had in the past. And she's changed up some of the drills at practice to challenge them. She says, you know, we have this full fielding drill where it used to be you have 5 balls to complete it. Any bobble in the field, if you can't complete it in 5, you have to run down and back. And the team got so good at these full fielding drills, they said, okay, now you have 3 balls to complete it or you run down and back. And then it got down to 2. They have stopwatches for relays, stopwatches for double plays, and they've cut the time down on the stopwatch to be successful in practice. That's a foul ball from Bain, still 0-2. So they keep challenging this team and making their drills harder and making their practice situations tougher and getting results.
even on the offensive side of things, going through drills, and once they get say it's a drill off of a tee, once they get it, in the mind of Coach Ricketts, she's going to make that drill and the stakes more challenging.
Brindley Bain to center. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Everything in the field. Both teams have been sharp defensively. The pitchers have thrown well, and it's a 1-0 game.
Selection Sunday.
Selection Sunday.
Selection Sunday.
64 teams that want to get to Oklahoma City.
Everyone in the country wants to hear their name be called.
I feel like it's just the beginning of a new season.
Sunday night, you'll be there for the selection special with our cast of characters: Beth Mowins, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe, Jessica Mendoza, Amanda Scarborough. And this is the RPI Top 10. They'll all be there. Arkansas #1 in the RPI Top 10. I'm wondering if I'm forgetting anybody that's going to be on the selection.
No, I think you named them all.
That's it.
I feel like looking at that RPI and looking at D1 softball and Softball America bracketology, it kind of seems like the top 5 to 7 are kind of set. Interested to see, and I think everybody is interested to see where Texas Tech is going to fall. Are they going to be a top 8 seed, or are they going to fall outside of the top 8? Meaning, if they make it through regionals, will they be hosting supers, or are they going to be on the road?
Nadia Barbary with a check swing foul against Peyton Burnham. If you are not dialed into the numbers, you might wonder, why would Texas Tech not be a top 8 seed? They have Nyjah Kennedy. They have a great record. They have incredible talent. Their non-conference strength of schedule is very, very poor. And the Big 12's obviously been down the last couple of years with Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC. So they have a lot of wins and a lot of big wins, but not nearly the strength of schedule that other teams do. Here's the first Mississippi State hit for Nadia Barbary to lead off the 4th.
Well, and you even saw Duke with a 10 RPI. So the ACC tournament, what's today?
Wednesday.
I think it starts today. So we'll see the run that Duke makes in the ACC tournament, and Duke has a chance of grabbing a top 8 seed. Just Texas Tech has not had the chance to get as many top 25 wins as everybody else. The poor non-conference strength of schedule, of course, has hurt them, and they've lost a couple of games. Texas State, Utah, they lost a game to Baylor. All within really like the past month, they've lost those games too. So eye test, is Texas Tech a top 8 seed? Yes, absolutely. But resume wise, will they get a top 8 seed? That's the question.
Well, here's a team in Mississippi State that is probably on the outside of those top 16 seeds with an RPI of 18. With a win today, they could sneak into that top 16. Well, Zion Romero takes up high. Sam Ricketts told us after they lost 2 or 3 to Ole Miss last weekend, she thinks they need to win 3 games here, make it to the semifinals. to be a top 16 seed. But as we just showed you, Arkansas has the #1 RPI in the country. So a win over Arkansas would go a long way in improving Mississippi State's metrics. Now, this is just the RPI, right? Georgia, Florida State, Oklahoma State, A&M in a better position RPI-wise. Some of the other metrics are better. They look a lot safer to host. LSU is also in this mix around the number 16 seed. Stanford, with a good run of the ACC tournament, could be a host, and Mississippi State as well. Some of the teams that have maybe a little bit of work to do this week. We got 2 on here for Taylor Troutman, freshman in the cleanup spot. Takes ball 1. Peyton Burnham has thrown 8 out of 10 balls this inning.
Coming into the SEC tournament, Coach Ricketts said that this Mississippi State team was frustrated about their final series in SEC play against Ole Miss. You know, it was not the results that they were looking for. They were feeling good after their series win against LSU, going into that rivalry series in SEC play last weekend, and just kind of had a couple of heartbreakers with losing via a couple of walk-offs. But when the RPI first came out, so in early March and throughout March, Mississippi State was looking like, all right, they're going to grab a top 16 national seed. But April was just not very friendly to Mississippi State, and their pitching staff gave up a lot of runs.
Troutman down on strikes, the first strikeout of the game for Peyton Burnham.
It's a way to rebound for your first strikeout of the game by Peyton Burnham. I mentioned throwing a lot of balls, so just decided to go at Troutman. Get a drop ball in the outside corner and gets a swing and miss, paints that outside.
1 away for Paige Ernstes. First pitch swinging out to shallow left, and Whitecoff's there for the second out. So 2 on and 2 out for Kiara Sells. Sam Ricketts is waiting for a big swing from Kiara Sells, who's their leader in average, in on-base, and slugging percentage. Sam said she's been our big bat all year, and she's starting to feel it. Down to the 6th spot, behind 3 players whose numbers aren't even close to Sells, but have been swinging it a little better in the last few weeks. Sells launches this ball foul, and it's 1-1.
Coach Ricketts has been really proud of the way that here at Mississippi State they've been able to develop players, the Arkansas pitching staff over in the bullpen, trying to get that foul ball.
Reese Berline, you were so close.
Like we saw Faircloth do earlier. But I think Kiara Sells and Nadia Barbary, for that matter, have been prime examples of maybe not coming in and starting right away, but just putting the work in and developing with the coaching staff at practice and in the off season and being a pivotal part of this lineup.
Sells chases strike 3. 2 on, nobody out. Burnham gets her first 2 strikeouts and wriggles out of the jam.
I guess she's not a strikeout pitcher until runners get on base. 2 strikeouts for Burnham in this inning. That last one with an off-speed pitch that just fell off the table and moved away from Sells, getting her to chase.
back to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Here with Arkansas head coach Courtney Deifel. Coach, let's start with Peyton. What have you seen from her? What did you like about that last inning of work?
Well, she just continued to fight more than anything. She's trusting her spin. She's attacking them early and dealing this defense, and who wouldn't want to deal our defense? So she looks really good. She'll continue to fight for us.
Tiana sent one out of the park early for you guys. What did you see on her at-bat?
Commitment to her plan more than anything. She did what she's done all year for us. She's big, she's physical, like strong and physical, and she put a good swing on a pitch she was hunting. So we needed it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. We pick.
Sounds very similar, listen to what Courtney Deifel told us a couple of days ago. We asked about Tiana Bell. She said she is crazy strong and physical and has a really good sense of who she is. A player whose personality has helped a team that's maybe a little more business-like, Courtney Deifel thought. And her home run is the only run in today's second round game. Winner of this game faces Alabama at around 2 Eastern, 1 Central tomorrow. Here's a ground ball cued off the bat of Ella McDowell, and a quick play made at second by Romero for an out. Back to that home run. It's our extra efforts brought to you by Regions Bank.
2-0 pitch, knew what she was looking for. Solo home run. By Tiana Bell, just so strong. Seen her do that, especially late in SEC play. She has had some big swings, 7 home runs versus SEC teams.
Well, it's an easy connection for Courtney Deifel, who was a national championship winning catcher at Cal. Tiana Bell, a transfer from Cal out of Antioch, California. And she and the next hitter, Dakota Kennedy, had a connection as well. They were travel ball teammates together in 8th grade. In the small world that is softball, helped bring Tiana Bell to Fayetteville. A ground ball from another off-speed pitch by Alyssa Faircloth, and well thrown out. Morgan Stiles makes the play from short. 4 pitches, 2 outs for Faircloth.
And Faircloth has done a good job using her changeup today, but she also just has really good spin and movement. I can't help but notice, like from the side when she's in this position coming up and around her circle, just how mobile she is in her shoulder. You don't see it another changeup there. I was going to say, you don't see it as much with her changeup as with her curveball, the position that she's able to get her arm into in the back of her circle to be able to create that curveball action to it. Good job of Dakota Kennedy. Real quick, just seeing that changeup early in the count and looking for it. Took a walk in her first at bat, has been seeing all these changeups that Faircloth has been delivering, especially second time through, and looked for it early in the count.
So Kennedy was 0 for 8 returning from injury against Texas. The only time she reached base was on a hit by pitch. And today, a walk and a single. Good signs for the senior playing through injury. Courtney Deifel said her play in the outfield is the last thing on my mind right now. Wants to keep her as the designated player, keep her bat in the lineup. Davison had the only home run of the weekend for Arkansas, even though they took the series in Texas, winning 2 of 3. Razorbacks played such a brutal schedule, playing all 4 top 4 seeds. Oklahoma on the road, Texas on the road, Alabama on the road, and they hosted Florida. Their other road series was at Mississippi State. They also hosted Georgia, Auburn, and Missouri, but a gauntlet. Courtney Deifel's team goes 6-2 in SEC series, and yet is only the 7th seed despite a 15-9 record. Strike 3 to Davison. Alyssa Faircloth. That strikeout breaks the single season Mississippi State record for strikeouts looking.
She's mixing, being able to use her changeup in different counts and then surprise Davidson with this curveball. I bet she was expecting changeup. Faircloth goes to the curve and gets her looking.
The SEC Tournament quarterfinals tomorrow feature our top 4 seeds. #1 Oklahoma with a historic home run chase for Kendall Wells. Jocelyn Brisky, maybe the SEC Pitcher of the Year for 2nd-seeded Alabama. The great combination of Jocelyn Erickson, Taylor Shoemaker for 3rd-seeded Florida, and the defending champion Texas Longhorns, Katie Stewart, Reese Atwood with 40 home runs combined. Tegan Cavan leading the way. 4 legitimate title contenders, 4 legitimate World Series contenders, all teams that expect to get to Oklahoma City, and they will be in action tomorrow, starting with Florida Auburn at 11. Alabama against the winner of this game at 2. Texas versus the winner of Tennessee and Ole Miss, and then Oklahoma, the #1 seed, is the last team to play here. They'll face the winner of LSU and Georgia. Des Rivera 0-2 against Peyton Burnham. What are you looking forward to of the teams that we haven't seen yet tomorrow?
I think Kendall Wells and Oklahoma. I feel like we've been following Kendall Wells and her home run chase for a few weekends now. She is still at 36, chasing Laura Espinosa's 37. And Megan Grant, I believe, is at 35 for UCLA. So Big Ten tournament will start tomorrow. UCLA will play their first game of the Big Ten tournament in Maryland tomorrow, the winner of Northwestern and Penn State. So both the home run hitters will be playing at about the same, on the same day, maybe around the same time.
This has been an amazing chase in a year that has smashed records. Going to be the most prolific home run hitting season by far in Division I softball history. Over 12,000 homers hit this year. And Wells, the Oklahoma freshman catcher, didn't hit one over the weekend at A&M. Longest drought of the season, 19 plate appearances. Wells has 1 off the all-time record. Grant 2 off, and her teammate Jordan Woolery just 4 behind Laura Espinosa's record.
Jordan Woolery keeps catching up. Megan Grant and Kendall Wells, not that they aren't hitting them, they're just like hitting them at a slower pace. And Jordan Woolery 2 weeks ago had a week where she hit 7 home runs in 1 week, and that got her to 30. So she entered the 30 home run club in a single season. We've never had 3 players hit 30 or more home runs in a single season until this year.
It feels like, you know, obviously the late 90s in baseball have been a little tainted as the steroid era, right? But the thrill of the home run chase that year, Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa were going back and forth, and Ken Griffey Jr. was right behind. And you got Wells with this historic season, and here comes Grant, and here comes Woolery. And Laura Espinosa's record stood since 1995. The offensive environment is miles different than it was in 1995, obviously. Kinley Keller takes ball 2, and of course, Arizona's a great place to hit, but it's been 31 years. Carly Spade of Miami, Ohio came 1 shy 2 years ago, hit 36. Line drive, base hit for Keller. That will be extra bases up the gap. Kinley Keller still in the 9 spot today, just rip-roaring through opposing pitchers here. She's reached base 4 of 5 times and has 3 hits at the tournament.
Look how long she stays on plane to get this Peyton Burnham curveball, fastball in the outside corner, just stays with it and pulls it toward the left side. But Kinley Keller has just been getting on time with every pitcher that she's faced in the tournament so far. I thought we'd get the lineup and see Kinley Keller hitting in the 2-hole, 3-hole, just get her some more ABs, but still continues to be right there in that 9-hole. With the best at bats for Mississippi State.
Well, so now Morgan Stiles. Stiles tied the game in the 7th inning yesterday with a 2-run single. The tying run, Keller in scoring position as Stiles takes wide. Came into the tournament just 3 for 18 over her last 6. Well, 0 for 3 before that 2-run tying single in the 7th yesterday. She's facing Peyton Burnham for a 3rd time. A 3-1 from the Arkansas sophomore. Stiles takes the strike.
Burnham just does not walk very many people. I mean, coming into this game, 20 walks and 82 innings pitched.
Here's a 3-2. Styles, line drive, center field. Reagan Johnson with a robbery. The all-world Razorback center fielder, part of this elite defense, keeps the Razorbacks in front.
She was shaded on the right side, anticipating something in front of her. She is so fast, gets such good reads. One of the best center fielders in the country, keeps Mississippi State off the board.
Sparkling defense, superb pitching, and one big swing. And Reagan Johnson's diving catch in the fifth keeps Arkansas in front. An errorless streak dating back to April 6, 2024, the longest by an Arkansas outfielder since at least 2001. And Italiarijo lays into one to right field on the very next pitch of the game. Rio out of the 7th spot rings the right field wall with a double.
Rijo just being aggressive early in the count, gets a curveball. You see the location, that just did not find a corner, and Rijo looking for a mistake early in the count, on time with it, barrels it up. Extra bases for Rijo to start off this inning. Arkansas has not had a leadoff runner on, with the exception of that leadoff home run by Tiana Bell, but first base runner to start an inning for Arkansas.
And for the first time today, the Razorbacks have a runner in scoring position as Rijo extends her team-leading on-base streak to 9 straight. Kaylee Wyckoff just tried to lay down a bunt out of the 8th spot. Wyckoff only has one sacrifice bunt this year, trying to do so against Alyssa Faircloth.
You see how on top of the plate that Wyckoff is against Faircloth too. I mean, this is a tough lefty-on-lefty matchup because Alyssa Faircloth gets such good extension with her leg drive. When she lands, she's almost outside of the circle when she lands with her stride foot. So as a hitter, it just seems like she's getting on top of you. And I just got wind that she's #1 in extension in the SEC, meaning by the time that she releases the ball, she is the closest to you. It's kind of deceptive because she's so lanky, but Faircloth is actually 6 feet tall. Gets a good leg drive, so by the time that she releases it, especially lefty on lefty, it feels like that pitch is on top of you.
Wyckoff, fly ball to right field. Sells back to the wall. A home run for Wyckoff. 2 left-on-left extra base hits in the inning. Down in the bottom of the order, Arkansas's balance comes to life, and it's 3-0.
You said it. Two lefties leading off this inning, getting to Faircloth. Another curveball that just does not find a corner. She's missing with that pitch, not throwing her changeup as much. Wyckoff protecting with 2 strikes. She did the same thing in her other at-bat, fouled off several pitches against Faircloth in her first AB. Saw just about everything that she had to throw. An 0-2 home run to give Arkansas a 3-0 lead.
Kaylee Wyckoff's 3rd hit against Mississippi State this year and her 2nd home run. Well, she took Peja Gould deep in the regular season. She takes Faircloth deep in the postseason. (3-0) the Arkansas lead on a Wyckoff 2-run, 2-strike blast. You just don't have any easy spots in this lineup.
Well, and to me, they're looking for this curveball in this inning. I'm not sure why we aren't seeing as many changeups in this inning, because you can even see where Miller is set up. She's backed up off of the plate. And out in front of that changeup for a pop-up out. But the lefties, we talked about where Wyckoff was positioned, just getting on top of the plate, looking for that curveball in the outside corner. Adjustments in this inning where Arkansas is making it very clear they are looking for something firm. They're not wanting to mess with anything soft unless they have 2 strikes.
Megan Johnson, 2 pop-outs to the left side of the infield. And Johnson fouls one away. She's out in front. The way Mississippi State has struggled to hit, those 2 runs feel ultra damaging. Averaging just 2.6 runs per game in SEC play. They only scored 4 in the 3 games against Arkansas in the regular season. Johnson pops up a bunt to Ernstes. So Reagan Johnson is working on the pop-up cycle. She's popped up to short, third, and first.
You know, there's the home run cycle, which we saw Arkansas Danielle Gibson do, and then there's also the bunt cycle, apparently, which I didn't know about.
I didn't know about it until right now. Did Danielle hit for a solo 2-run, 3-run, and grand slam in the same game?
Yeah.
She was insane. she was really amazing. They've had a lot of amazing home run hitters for Arkansas and Courtney Deifel's time. All one here to Brindley Bain.
Well, and I think the discussion too with that is how many great transfer hitters that Arkansas has had come into their program. Danielle Gibson was one of them. Think of KB Sides and Bree Ellis, Taylor Ellsworth. They've gotten a lot of very, very talented middle of the order transfer portal hitters that have just gotten better when they've gotten to Arkansas, including 2 SEC Player of the Year with Bree Ellis and KB Sides.
Popped up by Bain, off the end of the bat. Barbari's there. Arkansas adds to the lead. A diving catch in the top of the inning, and then Kaylee Wyckoff hits a big 2-run shot in the bottom.
A first pitch double by Riho, and then an 0-2 home run. Wyckoff was down, but she has been battling against Faircloth. Battled that 0-2 pitch all the way out of here.
Hey there, Tori Haley here. We'll get you set for the next game coming up. Alana Leach, Tennessee. She's going to be chatting with us from the field. The winners of this game going to make their way here coming up after the game. As for the game, it's a big shot that Kaylee just hit.
Yeah, it was. And when you talk about a pitching duel, I know Amanda's up there in that booth loving this.
I know Amanda's loving what Peyton Burnham's doing right now, too, as well.
All right, we will see you when this one's over, guys.
Hey, a hit or two, Amanda Scarborough. Let's not forget.
I know.
Loves the long ball.
They know that the pitching makes me really, really, really happy. And with all the offense, we have not gotten a ton of pitchers duels this year. It's been all about the offense.
There's no hitting angel that I'm aware of.
Maybe Tori can start that.
Yeah, I think so. Side hustle for TV, Tori Vidalis. Besides being fabulous on television and, you know, playing professional softball, Portland Cascades, Tori Vidalis.
Her initials are TV.
I know. Do you think I call her TV Tori for any other reason?
Well,
Please.
she's on TV.
That's by far the secondary reason. Down to third from Barbary. Ella McDowell's got the play. One thing you often hear about the pitchers had to have success, cliche but true. Get the leadoff batter out. Peyton Burnham's done that 5 of 6 innings, and it has been a relatively stress-free 5 1/3 for this sophomore. 13 innings at Mississippi State now, 3 hits.
The inning she didn't do it, she had 2 strikeouts. Her only 2 strikeouts of the game.
So she can turn it up when she needs to, is what we've learned. But relied on this great defense. There was an error on Rijo in the second inning, but other than that, some great plays made. A very clean game defensively for Arkansas. And the pitch count's in good shape here for Burnham, just 77. Fly ball, Zion Romero. Wyckoff, the home run hitter, squeezes it.
That's why I think it's easy to like Arkansas's chances in the postseason because of their pitching depth. Being able to see their pitchers go deep into games like Burnham can easily do on a low pitch count, and have a couple of arms who are in the bullpen right now with Robin Heron and Sailor Timmerman behind her, or her behind them. I mean, you just have so many different legit options that can shut down all these good offenses that we keep talking about. And if one doesn't have it that day, like Burnham didn't have it early in the year because she was working through that illness, and everybody else is able to step up around her.
By the way, that was Kyler Del Duca with the play in left field, and this fly ball is grabbed in center by Johnson. A 1-2-3 6th inning. The Razorbacks 3 outs from a shutout. Tiana Bell, one of those new faces with a deep drive to center, and Bell off the pole will ring in the game's first run. That was back in the second inning, her team leading 15th home run. Tiana Bell and Arkansas have a 3-0 lead on Mississippi State. They need to win 4 games in 4 days to take this SEC tournament, but as the #1 RPI team in the country, they may be the most capable 7 seed in history. Trying to set up a date with Alabama tomorrow at approximately 2 o'clock. Here's a ground ball to short. Ella McDowell retired, and Alyssa Faircloth gets the leadoff batter to start the 6th. Faircloth has been solid, but Peyton Burnham has allowed just 2 hits, walked 1, no runs through 6. So a great pitcher's duel here after an 11-8 opening game where Auburn outslugged Texas A&M. And here's Bell swinging at the first pitch, and that'll sneak just out of play. Mississippi State felt like they had to win probably 3 games here to get a top 16 seed. They've never hosted a regional. As it stands, they're looking like a lively 2 seed, but a 2 seed nonetheless would have to go somewhere on the road for regionals. And wherever they play, man, they've got to figure out a way to manufacture some runs, get some power, whatever it takes. We've seen Auburn do it this week. A struggling offense break out of their funk, but Mississippi State has the pitching, has the defense. They've got to figure out a way to score in the postseason.
It just has to happen. If it's manufacturing runs and moving runners, putting bunts down, just executing, just any way. It's been tough to watch Mississippi State's offense at times in SEC play, scoring under 3 runs per game with this tremendous pitching staff that they have, always given them a chance to win.
Elevated out of play by Bell, still 1-2. In a way, Sam Ricketts probably excited to get out of conference play. She said our team's obviously so well scouted by now. 24 games in the league, 2 more here in the SEC tournament. She thinks that a team that hasn't seen them is going to really struggle maybe with Peja Gould and Alyssa Faircloth. Pitchers with great spin on one hand, great extension and movement on the other. But Faircloth, that will be a tough one too, whoever faces Mississippi State.
Well, I think that every team will be happy to not see an SEC opponent in regionals, because that's how it works out. You do not face an SEC opponent or a conference opponent in regionals as Peja Gould is warming up in the bullpen. But they're going to be tough for any team.
Line towards short, it skips by. Base hit for Bell. And Tiana's 2 for 3.
Talk to all these coaches, and they're just, when you get, every year is like this. When you get to the SEC tournament, they're just so tired of playing each other because of the quality of competition and just knowing each other so well, and having to play these great teams 3 times in a weekend in a series is just challenging.
Dakota Kennedy taking a strike after a first pitch single her last time. Kennedy's now 3 for 4 this season, a double and 2 walks against Alyssa Faircloth.
Well, outside.
Dakota, a special night Monday, selected in the 3rd round of the AUSL draft, the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, by the Carolina Blaze. Carlin Pickens was their first pick and the 1st overall pick. And Reese Atwood, the 2nd pick. How about that SEC trio? Pickens, Atwood, and Kennedy will all be professional teammates. A bouncing ball spins away from Faircloth, and Kennedy legs out an infield hit.
Good sign just to see her running down the line with a little bit of pace and that knee brace on her right leg. She's always smiling. Great personality between Tiana Bell and Dakota Kennedy, the couple of ads that sit right in the middle of their order for Arkansas. Big personalities, a lot of fun. Courtney Deifel loves coaching Dakota Kennedy. She had said, I don't even know how we got her. And they had to play against Arizona a good bit, so they're very familiar with Dakota Kennedy and what she could do.
Courtney Deifel with the rare double pinch runner sub. Ava Carter in at second for Bell. And then Casey Wood will run for Kennedy. Carly Davison wide of third. Now, however they got Dakota Kennedy, they have built a reputation for bringing in powerful transfer hitters. There's a pop-up by Davison. That's an infield fly. And out number 2. Got a lot of power conference transfers too in recent years. You have Kennedy from Arizona, Davison we just saw from Utah, Wyckoff, Texas Tech, Bell from Cal. You know, some teams take a great mid-major player, great mid-major players, bring them into the league. We've seen Mississippi State do that with Gould and Faircloth. Arkansas has had a lot of success, and not all their transfers have come from power conferences, but a lot of success players that sometimes even transfer within the SEC, but get a taste of major conference softball and then excel at Arkansas.
And especially the 2 SEC Player of the Years that they've had. KB Sides and Bri Ellis transferred from SEC schools. KB Sides from Alabama and Bri Ellis from Auburn.
We were talking about Danielle Gibson earlier, the 4-homer game. Braxton Burnside, wonderful power hitter as well. There's a ground ball down to first, and we'll go to the 7th inning. Mississippi State, with that regional host hanging in the balance, needs 3 runs in the last inning.
The 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by T-Mobile, America's best network.
Let's take a look at the best in the game, brought to you by T-Mobile.
And a couple of home runs that Arkansas has hit. Tiana Bell got the home run swing started with the first run of the game for Arkansas in the 2nd inning, and then it was Haley Wyckoff in an 0-2 count. Both coming off of Alyssa Faircloth to give Arkansas the 3 runs that they have on the board.
A lot of home runs in the first game. 7 between Auburn and Texas A&M in an 11-8 final. Only 2 homers here, but that is indeed all the scoring. Arkansas 3 outs away from the SEC tournament quarterfinals. And they're facing 5, 6, and 7 in the Mississippi State lineup. Paige Arnstis, Kiara Sells, and Des Rivera. Arnstis scoops one out of play against Peyton Burnham. Burnham has been terrific in this game. Didn't allow a hit through the first 3 innings. Single by Barbary in the 4th, a walk by Romero in the 4th, a double by Keller in the 5th. The only Bulldogs to reach safely And a strike 1 and 2 for Ernstes.
It's so good for Arkansas to see Peyton Burnham coming on so strong. In April and May, she's just looked, I wouldn't say, like, it's not her just taking over a game and getting all these swings and misses. That's not her game. Her game is to move the ball around, give hitters different looks on both sides of the plate, up, down, be able to change speed. She just throws with a lot of command, a lot of confidence, and doesn't make very many mistakes.
Ole Miss, Tennessee coming up next. 5 Eastern, 4 Central. Ernstes into left. That'll drop in for a base hit. Just the second time Mississippi State's put the leadoff runner on.
Ernstes is way out in front of this changeup, but she just sticks with it. Look at her get her barrel to that outside corner and just pokes it out to just that perfect spot in left field where it just drops. A little bit of life from Mississippi State here.
And Mississippi State will pinch run Ali Supan here. Obviously, this is not the important run. They need to get 2 before they have a chance to tie, but they'll use a pinch runner anyway in Supan. And Kiara Sells takes ball 1. Mississippi State was down 2 runs, 3-1 into the 7th inning yesterday. They scored 3 to walk off Kentucky. And they pull a similar feat here in game 2. 2-0 for Sells. Even in a slump, Kiara Sells has either walked or been hit by a pitch 22 times in the last 23 games. And she's in a 3-0 count here with a tying run on deck. Taking all the way, it's a strike, 3-1. A pinch hitter with a little more power. Anna Carter is on deck to bat for Des Rivera. Popped up by Sells, and it's 3-2. Big pitch here from Burnham. A struggling hitter, but the best hitter on the Bulldogs this year. And she pops it up to right field. The new right fielder is Casey Wood. Came on as a pinch runner, stays in the game for defense and gets the first out.
You know, with the exception of that 4th inning single followed up by a walk, Burnham has just been so good at limiting the damage. If somebody has gotten on, she's followed it up with an out, just like that.
Well, Anna Carter, whose walk-up music is Pink Pony Club, is hoping to ignite Pink Pony in the dugout. Pink Pony's had a lonely afternoon. Nobody's taken Pink Pony for a ride because Mississippi State hasn't scored. She's mouthing the words to the song as she steps in. She is locked into Chapel Road. And now tries to lock into Burnham with a fly ball caught in right field and then overthrown by Wood, searching for a game-ending double play. So Mississippi State down to its final out. Abby Grace Richardson will pinch hit. Peyton Burnham deals her another first pitch strike. Freshman All-American a year ago by D1 Softball. Softball America having a strong sophomore year, and Burnham is a strike away from an SEC tournament shutout. 3 7-inning shutouts this year. Northwestern early in the year, Auburn, and then Missouri a couple of weeks ago. A ground ball to third. McDowell grabs it foul. For Arkansas to win 4 games in 4 days, they're going to need multiple pitchers. They haven't thrown Robin Herron today. Hoping they can save her for Alabama tomorrow. Can they ride Burnham and Herron through this tournament? They're the 7 seed, but have the #1 RPI in the country. This is a hugely dangerous Razorback team. Burnham's 1-2 is outside. Still looking for that final strike.
Especially with Burnham keeping her pitch count down today. It's a cooler day, so her recovery should be a little bit quicker with that pitch count and low temps.
Popped up by Richardson. Rijo is over there, and Peyton Burnham finishes off a 7-inning shutout at the SEC tournament. And the 7th-seeded Arkansas Razorbacks set up a powerhouse quarterfinal. They will play Alabama tomorrow afternoon, and they win their opener at the SEC tournament in back-to-back years for the first time since the end of the last millennium and the dawn of the new one.
Peyton Burnham just pitched so well. 3 up, 3 down in that first inning. Low pitch count keeps her defense involved and making plays. That great defense back behind her. A couple of home run swings for Arkansas. I mean, really just a complete game by Arkansas, and a quick one in this opening round.
Unofficially, an hour 33-minute game 2. Auburn, Texas A&M, a game that took slightly longer than an hour 33 minutes. That was an hour 33 and then another hour 33. So the highest scoring game in SEC tournament history kicked off the day. Auburn, the 14 seed, will face Florida, needing a win to become NCAA tournament eligible. And then a good old-fashioned pitchers duel in game 2. Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas are the quarterfinals we have in store for tomorrow morning and afternoon. Still to come today at 5 Eastern, Tennessee, Ole Miss, followed by LSU, Georgia. Well, now let's go down to the complete game thrower, Peyton Burnham, who's with Alyssa.
Peyton, opening day here at the SEC tournament, you throw a shutout. What's your approach to a game like this one?
Just get ahead early, feed my defense, let my offense work behind me, which they came up clutch. Defense came up clutch too. So, yeah, just competing all out.
Talking about that offense, when Tiana steps up and hits a bomb like that to start the game, what is it like having that kind of power in your lineup?
Oh, it's amazing. It's like full confidence. Like she goes up there, oh yeah. Like, but no, it just gives us very good momentum going throughout the game, and just having her there and then having everybody else behind her is just like, yeah.
Knowing how deep y'all's staff is and how deep your lineup is, take me inside some of those battles in practice when you were throwing to Tiana early in the season.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those where it's like you get a lot better out of it, but you also might get beat up a little bit out of it. So you kind of just gotta like pick and choose like those, like what you're gonna take from it. But it was a battle all throughout the season, all throughout the fall, and it's just playing with these girls behind you and getting better and learning from them every single day. Like you can't ask for anything better.
You guys will be back here tomorrow for another game. What does Coach Deifel say to this group before this brand new season here in the postseason at the SEC tournament?
Leave it all out there. Just fight for it. Just gritty over pretty and get it done any way you can.
Love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gritty over pretty, Alyssa. It was at times pretty. It was certainly gritty for Arkansas. Now 42-10 on the year. Another top 25 win for the Razorbacks, who are rolling in them and rolling on to the quarterfinals against Alabama. Still to come, Ole Miss, Tennessee. That game at around 5 Eastern, 4 Central in an hour. For now, we get you to Dari, Tori, and Haley, the SEC Now crew.